This one? You mean Trotsky? That is really funny. People see Trotsky be like, yo, is that Tony Stark? I actually have some mixed thoughts about Trotskyism, from what I know of it. I read the wiki article on Trotskyism, and I actually do think that it's right there. I think Trotskyism is what would actually be the ideology of Iron Man, neoconservatism, which is right here. I'll get to that in a second. Trotskyism, again, an ideology that in a way you could argue I have a soft spot for, but I do think it is a real form of socialism that is critical of the state and the way in which the preservation of a state is susceptible to, like, undermining the power of the working class to determine its own affairs. He explicitly wrote about this in his concept of the degenerated workers' state, where I would agree with him that the working class in Russia were successful in overthrowing the Tsar, in overthrowing the old ruling class. However, through the sort of... what's the term? It's not gentrification. It's something else. It's like calcification. Through the calcification of state institutions, the old hierarchies just sort of resumed under new leadership. Stalin effectively recreated a similar hierarchy to what existed under the Tsar, maybe not with the Tsar, but certainly with the party and the party members, and then the working class beneath them, which was sort of a reversal or a corruption of that success. Ultimately, Trotsky's advocacy for a workers' state, I think, doesn't do him that many favors, because what he's talking about fundamentally is similar to the conventional state. It wouldn't be a sort of syndicalist union of workers or something like that. So it's not like my preferred form of socialism, but I do believe it is socialism, and it's pretty cool. You know, he may have been cooking. You know, beware state power for the proletariat that succeeds in revolution. And I think that's a valid thing to take from that. But also, Trotskyists are fucking insane. So, you know. One thing that Trotsky was so fucking real for is the concept of a world socialist revolution. Genuinely, I think there's a better timeline where Trotsky wins that power struggle and like basically devotes the full effort of the Soviet Union to just creating supporting as many socialist movements as possible. And even if it's a crapshoot with the Soviet Union still being this very authoritarian state simply masquerading as socialist, I think you do get some actual socialist development as a result of that. And I think that would have been good. You know, a lot of socialist movements were peaceful. You can have a successful socialist revolution without ever firing a shot. This happened in Portugal, the Flower Revolution of the 70s. Hello, Editing Y2K here. This is just one part of a multi-part series of me ranking all the ideologies that I know enough about to comment on. It took place over the course of 2 live streams earlier in the year, and the other parts will be all available on a playlist if you're interested. Please check it out, and thank you for watching.